Hey, what's up? It's Autumn.
It's Katie.
And this is Seriously.
Seriously.
I had to look over at you.
You
and
did
make sure
because you
that
were worried about it.
Yeah,
Me and
I
both.
wanted to see what you were doing with your
Yeah,
mouth.
yeah. And I had to hard think about.
It's weird they're coming in on a conversation that's already partway through.
Yeah.
So, hey, welcome back. It's
Yes,
Seriously. We hope that you guys enjoyed last week's episode. Last week's episode was intense for me.
I like it. I like that format. That's fun.
It was fun. It was
Okay,
something
it was
different.
intense for you.
It was very intense for me. It was very intense in a very undesirable or not fun way. I don't know. I don't really
Also
know how.
that.
Yeah, that was kind of uncomfortable. I was sweating. I'm sweating right now again talking about it. Or maybe it's these lights, but something is causing me to sweat.
There's heat involved.
Yes.
Yeah.
Speaking of coffee.
Mm-hmm. We're not going to talk about my coffee.
You have like a gallon jug over there, but can I just, which I don't even want to get into, like why or how that happened.
Didn't know how to work the Keurig. I just picked the biggest one, thinking that because the last time I made
today's
coffee here,
your first day.
Because the last time I made coffee here, it gave me this much coffee, and by this much, if you can't see me, I'm holding up two fingers that are barely apart, and I was like, wait, did I run out of water? I was very concerned, and so then I was like,
so you overcompensated today.
Yeah, I mean, there was barely room to put creamer in there, and then I had to tiptoe, and it was a lot.
Yeah, to keep from spilling on the carpet.
I got a lot of coffee.
You're out of control.
Fair.
Okay.
Fair.
Well, my coffee is actually perfectly made, but I have mine's like a festive.
I know.
So I have a little bit of eggnog in my coffee.
But
you don't like eggnog?
I'm not a fan.
Oh my God, you are like un-American.
I probably had like a bad
like
non-festive
festive
eggnog.
And your shirt says festive AF.
Yeah,
that's a lie.
It's about the season. It's not the eggnog.
Eggnog is a part of the season. Well, okay, let me take that back. Technically not until after Thanksgiving. So it's not quite the season, but it's pretty darn close.
And also Thanksgiving this week.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. So no, it's not quite, but it's almost.
No one's going to tell me when not to be festive. So.
Oh my God. You're one of those.
Christmas. I would put this sweatshirt on in July if it wasn't.
That's ridiculous.
I would absolutely decorate my Christmas tree with
July fixings.
July
fixings.
Yeah,
I literally. 4th of July.
Yep.
4th of July fixings. I was like, what holidays in July? That one.
The
major one. Independence.
The one.
We celebrate Independence in July.
Oh my gosh, no! But like, I don't decorate for any other holiday, and I think it's because I'm borderline just lazy. And
it's not borderline. That's just straight up.
That's fair. And I don't want to decorate and then take it down 30 days and then put up another stinking holiday. So I just 110% go all out for Christmas.
You still have to take it down, or you just.
That's okay, but like I put it up way before.
Oh, to make it worth it.
Yeah, yeah. And then I'm just happy every time I walk in the house. I'm like,
hate you. You're that person that I
so many
legitimately
Christmas
hate.
trees.
I don't believe in that. It actually, I have a physical response. To people like that. I do. Well, probably because, I want to punch you. Kind of physical response.
Let me scoot.
Probably because, you see how I just reached
for you?
I was like, probably because Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday.
Yes.
I think it's literally the only holiday that is a holiday. It's about just family, food, spending time together, being thankful. There's no pressure for gifts. Or like I got, you know what I mean? Like I gotta spend $10,000, or I gotta prove to you that I love you.
Backtrack. You give away $10,000 for some Christmas stuff?
I feel like it.
Can I have some?
No.
Oh.
I don't have any left. These kids are taking everything. They're sucking the life out of me.
As they get older, the crap gets more expensive.
Yeah, exactly.
Or
that's
it's
why
like
they get less of it. You get nothing now.
I remember I could do like $150, $200 for, and that's probably even still way more. And they would have like 90 things to open. Now they're like, this one pair of shoes costs
more than that.
$8,000.
Yeah.
I
was going to say it's more than $150, that's for sure.
I also want to note here that I'm afraid to pick up my coffee because of all the fun you've made of me.
I thought you were going to say you're afraid to pick it up because it's going to spill over the edge.
Look, I had to like lean into it.
And slurp it?
Yeah, like just to get enough so it would be manageable.
Yeah.
Manageable. Yeah.
Anyway. No, pick it up, please. I think everybody would like to see this massive cup of coffee that you have in your Florida cup.
This is
which represents like
your Florida cup.
Well, it is my Florida cup, but when you think Florida, you think of like 90-year-old retirees. Yeah, and like
I wish I could be.
Wait a minute. Fun fact.
Retired.
Fun fact.
Go for it.
Those little like communities, like older communities in Florida, apparently they have high rates of STDs.
Yeah, also nursing homes.
Really? I didn't know about the nursing homes.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Yeah. These old people are getting it like that's a
getting it on.
So maybe saying that, like they're old, that's not
No,
accurate.
it's not really,
No, because it's the exact opposite. They are
getting busy.
Full-fledged.
Getting busy.
Tone low.
As Will Smith would like to say, getting jiggy with it.
Oh, I was going with tone low.
I heard.
Funky Cold Medina.
Oh, Funky Cold Medina.
Okay.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, that was a fun segue.
It was.
Or segue? Tangent.
That's
what I meant.
Yeah,
all right,
continue. Not that I'm going to be
the
vocabulary specialist today, because clearly I'm struggling with vocabulary, so I'm not even going to do it because I know I'm about to embarrass myself, and that's not the plan today.
No.
So anyway, how was your week?
Now that we got that out of our system.
How was your week?
Oh, it was good. I don't really have anything to report. We went camping for.
I don't have anything to report.
Yeah,
is this a debriefing?
I did make a PowerPoint with some brief bullet points. I did not bring it. So got out
Account for your actions,
camping.
Soldier. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just saying.
I think we both had too much caffeine today, or not enough. However you want to spend that one. We went camping. It's starting to get cold, obviously.
Yeah.
So trying to fit a few more trips in.
Let it
outside.
Go.
Yeah.
Let it go.
I like that song.
Let it go. Okay.
Why did I
don't know. That wasn't even a part of it.
No, it was just a random noise. Anyway, how about you? What was your week like?
My week was interesting. As it per always is. Work was a headache and a half, but I don't want to talk about that. Yeah. Good news is my son is coming home for the holiday, and that's nice. Yeah, so I'll have all my children at home.
That'd be good.
My daughter has asked if her boyfriend can come to Thanksgiving.
Have you met said boyfriend?
Yeah, I've met him.
Is he cool?
He's lovely.
Have I met him? Yeah.
Yeah, you've met him.
Jeez.
Yeah.
It's my first day.
He's lovely. Listen.
I don't get enough sleep at night. Later?
No.
I'm so confused.
I just bless his heart. I don't know.
Oh, he's sweet.
Yeah. Well, we today I was talking to my ex-husband, because we have a very different, unique relationship. Obviously, that we celebrate everything together as a family union, even though we are exes. So some people find that to be odd. But so I was telling him, hey, Morgan's bringing her boyfriend home for Thanksgiving, and he was like, what? And I said, well, he goes, oh, and I went, okay, be nice.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to be nice. Like, and it's not that he's got anything against the kid. It's just normally Thanksgiving is just us.
Family.
You know what I mean? So the idea is, and I said, well, apparently his family celebrates with like seafood, which is an odd thing.
That's different.
It is odd. Okay, here's the other thing.
But everybody's got your tradition.
No, that's ridiculous. Ain't nobody eating seafood for Thanksgiving. And here's the other thing, because my dad also one year tried to introduce the idea of having
different
seafood gumbo for Thanksgiving, and me and the kids were like,
No. Now's the time for turkey, ham, mashed potatoes, and green bean casserole.
I have a set menu that they count on every single year, and we are not deviating from this
tradition.
Menu.
Is strong.
It's strong.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear anything
Seafood
about
gumbo.
No, that's likely to
talk.
get you tripped down the stairs. It's that serious.
Okay.
We take this turkey and stuffing seriously.
But so his family does seafood.
Yeah, and so my daughter was like, well, first of all, she was like, I'm not going to be
doing that.
That's first of all. I'm gonna need legitimate Thanksgiving. Yeah, I'm gonna need legitimate Thanksgiving food. That's what's her first thing. The second thing, she was like, my mother will kill me if I'm not home for Thanksgiving, which is also
hard facts.
Exactly. Yeah. There's some things that we're just not deviating from. Yeah. You being home on Thanksgiving is not one of them. My son is flying in from California. That's how serious it was. Yeah. I literally was like, listen, let me explain something to you.
Home
I will kill you.
For Thanksgiving.
I will kill you. I will fly to California and I will kill you if you are not here on Thursday morning.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, I got it. Airplane ticket's
booked a trip 6 months ago.
Already in the works. I'm sending you my confirmation right now.
Here's when I come in.
Raise my children well.
Yeah.
Fear is how we make things happen around here.
Parenting tip number 1. Rule with fear.
Rule with fear and an iron fist.
That's it. Walk around with a big stick. Be all right.
So that's exciting. Like, that part is exciting. I'm excited about that. And I'm on vacation this week. And so that's
helpful.
Very helpful and enjoyable. So I'm glad for that. And so that's kind of been my
well, there haven't been like a whole lot of interactions with people outside of like work and family just because of COVID stuff. So I know like our funny stories we usually have where it's like we're at the store or you're in a parking lot and small children. And,
or running.
Yeah.
I do have a deer story that's actually kind of, I know.
Like an actual deer?
Yeah, an actual deer. It was running. But I'll share it later.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
there's visual effects, and I wasn't prepared to really give like a really good like imagery. I need to show you what this deer was doing.
I am intrigued.
I
cannot wait to see what the visual effects are going to be. I am over the moon right now because if it involves antlers and some prancing.
Well, there's definitely prancing and racing about.
Oh, good.
Some screams. Cars are involved. There may have been like
noises.
Yeah, there was a lot.
Oh man,
I was very.
I am excited.
Yeah, but I'm not
prepared.
As you can tell, as you can tell, I am not prepared for this moment.
Ready. She's not ready.
And scene.
Oh my god, I'm so excited.
So, this week, topic for this week is actually pretty interesting, and I think really relevant on a lot of fronts and a lot of relationships. I guess we could take this in a lot of different ways, but we'll see what develops.
That's fair.
But the thought behind it was when you think about any relationship that you have in your life, you think about what are your boundaries or your hard lines or what your expectations are of that other person, what your expectations are of yourself. And one of those expectations tends to be honesty. Like, right, I expect that you will tell me the truth.
Right.
Even when it hurts or it's uncomfortable or it's not going to be in your best interest.
Right.
You know what I mean? That you would be honest with me. And I have always prided myself on being super honest, like brutally honest, like to the point, like some people have been like, "Yo,
take it down."
That wasn't even necessary. And I was like, "Is it possible for you to be too honest?" And they're like, "Yeah, sometimes it's you. You say things you don't even need to say."
Yeah.
But I think that, and maybe this is an extreme, and I need some balance. But listen, I'm always open to suggestions. But that has come from, I think, when you have been lied to.
So many times.
Yeah, so many times in your life, and you realize the destruction that lies can cause, like how that can truly affect a person's life. When you are withholding information or giving false information, and a person is legitimately making moves based off of that false information, you can cause a serious amount of destruction. They're giving up opportunities, they're changing their life, they're thinking a certain thing, they're making certain plans, they're doing all these things based off of what you have or have not said to them, just to find out. Just kidding.
It wasn't
like
true.
that. I didn't mean it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how you will find yourself, you know what I mean, like kicked in the head in the front yard. I mean, you know what I mean? True.
Yeah.
But seriously, so I always was like, you know, I don't want to be that person. I don't want to everybody's life has value, and, you know, people's time is valuable. And I'm not going to waste a person's time being dishonest.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm not going to be selfish like that either. And even if it costs me something, like I got to be a grown up and own whatever my stuff is.
Yeah.
So if I did something and, you know, potentially your awareness of me doing whatever it is I did can cause you to exit stage left out of my life, that's what I chose. You know what I mean? When I was in it to win it, that was a possibility, and I took that road anyway. So that's what I gotta own. And so I've always just kind of operated that way. So like everybody who knows me knows that you ain't got to worry about is she lying or not. You know, I mean, like seriously, you ain't got to worry. You're like, well, if she said it, that's what it is, because I don't know lie. Like she just tell you what it is.
Yeah.
But is that really loving?
Right.
Is that really the right thing to do? And as I've gotten older, and this is what's really sad. This is really sad. Witnessing other people's relationships and the level of dishonesty in other people's relationships, I'm almost like, is that something that you just have to accept in order to be in a relationship, that people are going to be dishonest with you? Like, do you just have to accept that if that's just going to be the standard, regardless of whatever? I just might as well accept the fact that if I want to be in a relationship, this person is going to be dishonest with me, which is sadness number one. Yeah. And that's the first question on the table. Okay. Then the second part of that is, does it matter? Yeah. As long as you are not aware. Does it change
your existence,
your
and your,
existence and
how
the
you
reality of what the two of you are.
Right.
Does it change that if I don't know what you're doing outside of my, you know what I mean? What's happening outside of my awareness? Does it matter?
Yeah.
Does it really require that you be honest and tell me the truth that you are doing X, Y, and Z? If it doesn't change anything that's going on in this household, and I'm technically happy, satisfied, needs being met, whatever, then should I make that an expectation?
Yeah.
Or should the expectation, instead of being honesty, be you are fulfilling what needs to happen in this bubble?
Yeah. That's a lot.
It is a lot.
Restate the first question
I don't
trample back on the second one.
Oh Lord, what was the first question? Is that a part of relationships now? That you have to accept that dishonesty is just a part of relationships. So, and here's the part of that too, is because society is encouraging, allowing, supporting, and facilitating dishonesty. Yeah. So it's almost like become like a part of our culture to be dishonest. It's like set up to encourage and like, hey, it's okay to be here. Let me help you be dishonest.
Yeah. So, there's many ways to do that.
Right.
So let me talk from a space of experience versus, because, operating now in the space with the way that I do now is completely different than it was 10 years ago. Okay. It's completely different than it was effing 3 years ago. Okay. You know what I mean?
5 minutes ago?
Yeah. Not that short.
3 days
Not
ago.
that short. I think there's a necessity for being completely honest and transparent. I think that serves its purpose and its place.
For you or in general?
I think in general. Okay. I don't think necessarily like individually. I think that just honesty and transparency breeds clarification and reasoning behind certain actions and why they happen. Right. From a workspace to a personal space. Like it spans every part of that. Is that how I've always been? Hell no.
That's not how anybody's always been.
And I think that the excuses were made for being dishonest or deceitful or omission of the truth, which is also the same thing as falsifying stuff and lying. Yeah. Omitting something that could potentially hurt somebody was the place that I operated in. This piece of information could potentially cause somebody harm, so I'm just going to keep it to myself. Right. Even though the bigger harm being done is the lie itself, the fact that this person isn't aware of the truth.
Or how about the harm is the thing that you did? Just don't do the thing that you don't have to admit.
Even if I didn't do something, even if it's something that I just know, right? Like, so if it's just information that may help you or hurt you, choosing to omit that or never say anything on it is also hurtful in and of itself. Because like you just said, if you're going to make decisions about your life based on false information or information that exists that you don't know about, right? There's a difference between you not knowing that information, just being none the wiser. Right. But your entire path could be altered. Right. Your entire life and existence could have gone 6 different ways 5 years ago based on one piece of information that may have been helpful. And I see that more so with interpersonal stuff, relationships in particular, intimate relationships more specifically. Right. But yeah, so from personal experience, I know that I've not been great at like, just 100%. Here it all is. Right.
Why?
I think part of it is self-worth. Okay. A lot of it reflects on, and it's so there. I think there's a difference in information here too, right? Like there's a difference in, I know this. I don't know that it's 100% true, or this piece of information, I heard it through the rumor mill or whatever. So there's some issue with that alone. Yeah. Now, when you speak about actions, I think that certain actions are very specific to that person. So if I were to do something that was going to cause harm to somebody else, in order to save face and to be whatever the hell I was looking for at that point in time, it was easier to lie. Okay. Or it was easier to not say anything. Yeah. Or it was easier to shut the hell up. Yeah. Or it was easier to just pretend like nothing ever happened. Right. In the end, it damn near killed me. Yeah. For a multitude of reasons, both emotionally, physically. I mean, there was a lot of dark spaces back in the day.
Keeping that
absolutely. It's so much more work. And I don't mean that in the sense of, put in the work, it's going to get you somewhere. I mean, it's exhausting. Yeah. It is exhausting to try to keep up a facade and a lie and an untrue
detangle what we weave
face, right? Yes. Like it's just so much harder to put up a front than it is to just be brutally honest. Right. In a sense, now, so I think where you're talking about and touching on, which is kind of where I am now. Today, I'm honest. I'm transparent. If there's something you want to know, let's talk about it. If
Okay.
there's an issue, I want to know about it. I had a really good conversation the other day with a really great friend, and it was this miscommunication that had occurred, without getting into a bunch of details. Anyway, was perceived some kind of way, and in reflection, I have to go back and go, you know what? I could see why that occurred,
Right.
and this was my part in this.
Okay.
So whether it wasn't meant personal or not, it was me being honest. And I still want you to know where my feelings are on that specific topic.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I want you to know that you're still my friend.
Yeah.
And even though we got to have these hard spaces, it was not confrontational and it was not defensive on either party.
Okay.
So it was just, I hear you.
Yeah.
And this was my ownership in this. And I needed you to know that. And so I'm glad that you do. And I'm very grateful that you feel safe and comfortable to be vulnerable and authentic in that sense of, this is why this hurt me.
Yeah.
I think that it is also information dependent, right? I think that there's still there's a difference between being brutally honest and it being your opinion, and being brutally honest and it being fact. So not that those two can't marry and be the same thing, that your opinion can't also be fact.
Right.
There's
Well,
difference.
and let's keep it there, right?
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
You can go in different tangents. So let's just keep it to it's fact. Let's keep it to, this is something that I did, or something that I feel, or something that so there is no ambiguity there. There is no well, is this or is it not, or I don't want to say something and then it turned out to not be true.
I mean,
It's like,
remember
this
that
is
time
what
you told
I
me I
know.
couldn't have bangs?
That was facts.
I just saw
That
her the
was
other day.
facts.
I just saw her the other day. She goes, so no bangs, right? I was like, no bangs.
Yeah,
Fine.
no. And I see you trying to create them with this headband.
No.
The answer's still no.
Still no.
There's
I
no
kept it down
bangs.
because my hair's so short. And I didn't
Okay.
have time to do it because I was
All
doing
right.
something else
Fair.
before I came here.
I'm just letting you know.
Anyway.
The answer's still no.
Oh my God.
But that's what I'm saying. So that's the information in which this is being presented from, that that there's not an opinion here.
Right.
The fact is I betrayed you.
Right.
The fact is I did something that I know is outside of your boundaries.
Right.
The fact is I did this and I know that.
Right.
And I'm choosing not to
Take ownership of it.
take ownership of that and tell you the truth.
Right.
But what I'm saying is that something that we just need to expect.
Yeah.
We just need to consider that a part of our engagements with people, period.
Yeah.
Friends, family, interpersonal, relationship, whatever, or intimate spaces. That's what we need to just start to expect, because that has become where we are as a society now.
Right.
And two, does it matter?
Well,
Does it really matter?
Yeah,
I mean,
I
like,
think
if you don't know,
Yeah.
does it really change your existence? If you don't know that I did something,
Right.
does it matter?
Well, it technically wouldn't matter, but I think that things that are meant to be found out, you get found out. Like, the truth still
that's true.
inevitably presents itself. It's meant to be in the light. It's meant to be.
So you speaking gospel?
I cannot with
You
you right
speaking
now.
Jesus? Because the Bible says what is done in the dark will come to
Yeah,
light.
and it's-
so you
it's
subscribe
true.
to that thought
It's
of
true.
eventually this is going to come
Absolutely.
out.
Because not only that, if you are holding on to something that's deceitful, I honestly believe that you start to present with self-sabotaging behaviors. You ultimately start to tell on yourself. Whether you want to or not, that subconscious is eating the out of you.
Okay.
Like, you are already in a space where you're like, okay, this happened. I'm good for right now because nobody knows, or this, that, and the other. And then it all comes to the surface because you don't have any other way to control that. And when you start confiding in people and you start giving people pieces of that.
But you're basing this off of your moral compass. You're basing this
Right.
off of.
Oh,
so
well-
let me give you a further example. Or a question.
Let me take a big drink.
Please,
out of my giant
because
cup
you're
of
gonna
coffee.
need it.
Go, shoot.
You are a 90-year-old woman who has been married for 55 years. Your husband has passed away. You're going through his personal effects, and you find out that he has been having a years-long relationship with some other woman down the street.
Yeah.
Miss Janice.
Oh, we're gonna
from
call
the
her
church. Yeah, why not?
Janice.
Let's give her a name.
I like
Miss
that.
Janice. Let's make
Support
it
it.
personal. Okay. Miss Janice has been your husband's girlfriend for years. Okay. Does that change anything about the 54 years that you guys have spent together? All the memories you've made, all the happiness, the joy, the things that the children that you raised, the grandkids, the trips, you know what I mean, the whatever, all the pieces, the fact that he supported you in your dream, the whole entire life that you have created is and you would have, not having looked before you found this out,
Right.
if anybody would have asked you, were you happy? You would have said, "Oh my God, I could not have asked for
I'm
more."
really upset. Yeah.
I had 54 years of a blessed marriage with a man that I loved and who loved me.
Yeah.
And we had a full life together. Now you open up this box and here's Miss Janice.
Here's Janice.
Miss Janice is doing her thing in the box, right? All Janice.
Good.
Does that change how you perceive the last 54 years? That's where my question is coming from. Would it have been better for him to tell you that? Or did it matter?
I think in that moment that if it were me, so I can only speak for myself here.
Okay.
I think it would have made me go back and look at the 54 years and go, all this was for him may have not been as real as it was for me. Okay. All these experiences were in essence very real, and perhaps he did love me in some way in those moments, but it would make me go back and question every experience that I had with him up until that moment of finding out, or up until the passing of the poor man. But I think that
but you could have never found out about Janice. He'd never been a wiser.
But would what are we calling the wife's name? That's me. Okay.
You are the wife. We're calling the wife Katie.
My bad. So if I were to looking back, I think technically, or at that moment, I am 90 years old. So no, technically nothing up until that point mattered.
Right.
Because I didn't know any better.
Right.
So I can't go back and say, you know what, if 54 years ago or 30 or 20, whenever the long-term affair with Janice started.
Miss Janice. Please put some respect on her name.
God, put some respect on her name.
I'm totally kidding.
Like
the mistress don't get, I was going to say,
She don't get no
respect.
No.
Sorry.
So we go back to that.
Yeah. Janice.
Janice, the existence of Janice was everything, had I known then, would my life have been better? We can't. I think the what if game.
There's no right answer.
Right. Well, and to play the what if game at 90 years old, I think that's a little much. Had I known 20 years ago, where would I be without him? What if he was all of my support? What if he was my financial stability? What if there's a lot of things to consider here. Me personally, if I would have found that box and seen that at 90 years old, I know where I am at 38 and my feelings on stuff, having put all that time and effort into it, would I look at it differently based on that relationship? If everything else was good, and the relationship was loving and all other things considered, the other part of this is he's no longer here to answer for himself. Yeah. So I think that's another part of this that's missing too, is what I'm seeing and perceiving like this is legit, or their love letters, nudie pics, whatever the hell may be in this box. Janice herself, her remains, I don't know if she
Janice
did.
in a bikini.
Is she alive?
Janice in a
tankini. I think at 90, the perspective shifts. I think as we go through our different ages and decades and seasons, that all of that kind of alters and ebbs and flows with how we perceive the world and the things around us. But I think looking back, obviously be upset and distraught.
Well, yeah.
And would it matter? Yeah, I think it would matter, because it would ultimately lead me down this path of what was real about this? Did I just waste my entire life? Yeah. I think I would feel certainly some kind of way.
Well, I think it's
for the
natural.
negative.
Yeah,
versus...
I think it's natural to feel some kind of way, but I think once you shake it out, this is how. So if it's me and I open the box with Janice,
you'd find Janice and go hunt her down.
I would.
Punch her straight in the temple.
I think once I was done being angry and feeling all these different things or whatever, I think I would have looked at it, and when I would have said, Clifford, because I'm just going to give him that
now
name.
We're naming him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cliff for short. Cliff and I. People are complex things, and people do things for many different reasons. And ultimately, what I have found at 42 is that no matter how well you know somebody, you don't completely know somebody. Right. I mean, we don't even completely know ourselves. Right. And the reasons that we do things, and there's multiple truths that can exist in the same space. We want things to be very black and white because it gives a high level of clarity. Right. And it gives us an opportunity to make sense of our world. But the truth is that we live in there's very few spaces that are black and white. Right. The majority of those spaces are gray because there's so many layers to everything. And so if you would have asked me, is it possible for Cliff to be having an affair with Miss Janice and still truly love me, I would have said, hell no. But I don't think that that's entirely true.
Right.
I think that people cheat and do a lot of things for a lot of different reasons that have to do with a certain level of brokenness. That's like saying that a person who's a drug addict doesn't truly love their family if they choose drugs over their family. Yeah. That's not true. No. There's a lot of different other layers. One, how they got into doing drugs, the emotional hurt, or the, you know what I mean?
Traumas,
the pains, right?
Yeah, actual physical.
The actual physical addiction that goes into that. There's a lot of layers as to why people make decisions that have nothing to do, with, if you do this, that means you don't want this. And that's not always the case. So I think in looking at it that way, that I could say it doesn't necessarily make it untrue that you loved me and that the experiences that we had were false or, you know, fake or fabricated in some way. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just this other thing was also true.
Yeah.
Right? And if I had gone my whole life and never known that, would that have changed? Now, it would be different if he had been dipping in and out all these years and acted shady and making me feel like I was crazy. Yeah. And I was like going through, and then all I found out, and then I go, well, no wonder this mother, he tried to make me feel. But if I had before I opened that box, I have legitimately felt that I was loved and cared for by this man all these years and that we had lived a full and complete life. I don't know that opening the box necessarily takes away from Janice. You're right. He's not there that I can ask him. Yeah. You know, Cliff, what the F is this? Yeah. You know what I mean?
Because, I think that's a big part of it.
It is a big part of it. Yeah. And this is by no means me saying that I condone lying or cheating or that it's okay. I'm just saying I don't really know that I have an answer because it's so, like, it's such a complex topic. I could see how a person could say either way. I could see how a person could say 1,000%. Oh yeah, absolutely no. I want you to be brutally honest and tell me the truth. Right. But I could also see a person saying, "What I don't know won't kill." Like if I don't know, I don't know. The minute I become of not awareness of it, now we got a problem. Otherwise, just keep it out of my face because there's so many other things that you're gonna do behind my back that I'm not gonna know of. Yeah. You're gonna sneak and eat freaking that McDonald's meal that you didn't want to bring me home. You're gonna do that, right?
I would do that.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like you're gonna do that. Yeah. You're gonna sneak and buy that thing that you didn't talk to me about. There's a lot of things that you're gonna omit from me along the way, and it don't change my day at all. I don't know that you ate McDonald's. It doesn't matter to me that you didn't bring me.
Let me bring this up then. If it's a difference between omitting that they had McDonald's on the way home versus a relationship thing, how do you assign, or not even assign, I guess is not the best word. How do you determine which one's worse or better or less than or more than?
It's not determining which one's more or better. It's accepting that they're both a reality. So that's what I'm saying. It's almost like saying, listen, I don't want my kids to have sex. Right. But I know that they're probably going to. Right. So I accept that that's a reality. Right. So I prepare myself for the reality in certain regard. That's what I'm saying. So it's not saying that one thing is more or less. And again, I'm playing devil's advocate. I'm saying as Autumn, I don't even know the answer. I'm just talking it out loud.
And I don't think there is, like you said, there is no
I'm just talking it out loud.
Finite answer here. I think
this is the conundrum.
Yeah, right.
So I'm saying, no, there is no way to define and say, well, this is okay and this is not. It's just the reality of saying, listen, this is probably going to occur. Yeah. Or this is likely, or there's a strong possibility that it might, because society is making this readily available. Yeah. And do I just prepare for that?
Well, how do you prepare for that?
By saying, listen, I don't want to hear it. As long as being of awareness and knowledge, like, as long as it ain't in my face, I'm not going to think about it. Right. I'm not even going to
But how do you keep your hamsters from not running down that wheel in any relationship then? Like, how do you keep yourself in a place of peace?
By not searching for it.
Okay.
By not even just going, because that's a lot, when you look for things, that's when you find it.
Right.
Determining, I'm not even going to look. If something presents itself in my face and I got to address it, I got to address it. Right. But I'm not looking through this dude's phone. I'm not.
Oh, no. Well, and I think some of those behaviors are.
Well, yes, but I know. Yeah. But what I'm saying is looking at it and saying,
as long as there's no flags popping up.
As long as there's no flags popping up and it's not anything that's in my face and all my needs and everything are being met at home, I'm not even going to concern myself with whether he is or he isn't. Yeah. I'm not even going to walk in that space. I don't know. I'm not saying that that's the right answer. I'm just saying, is that a thought process? Is that a thought
It's
process?
probably not a conscious thought process. I'd be willing to bet that most people don't sit here and go.
I think a lot of women do.
I don't think
because
they
there's
think
a lot
about
of women out here that got husbands that are cheating, and I'm looking up here going like, "Yo, stop it! You don't know this dude is out here doing the most.
Yeah.
Stop it!" And I think that they do, but I think that they're going, you know what? Listen, he's doing what he's supposed to do here, and as long as he don't have it in my face, I'm not going.
Or is it just settling? What is the difference between not wanting to be aware, settling, and how does that equate to I'm being loved and taken care of, but he's still stepping outside of the relationship?
I think settling is an awareness that something is something is in your face, and with 100% certainty something is happening, and you are choosing to be okay with it,
or be okay with it either way,
or look the other way, right? And then there's another thing that says somewhere in me, it's just like this. I know that my children are probably having sex, even though I don't want them to.
Yeah.
I'm not going through their room searching for condoms. I'm not looking through their phone. I'm not asking them. I'm not whatever. I'm just going like this. In my subconscious, like in the back of my mind, I know this is probably happening. But as long as there's no STTs, no babies, they're not in my house doing this, I'm not going to make that a conscious thought every day of, are you doing it or are you not? I'm not watching how you're walking. I'm not looking like, you know what I mean? I'm not doing all that. Right? I don't know.
Why does the walk have to be?
Because you change when you start having sex. You do.
Do you just have a little more?
You have a little swag.
Swag.
Too. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Trust me.
That was interesting.
It does. You can tell when people are having sex and when they're not.
Anyway.
But do you see what I'm saying? So the same
do.
kind of mindset that I would have with my children in that kind of sense is like, I'm not going through all the motions of that. What if that's the same? I don't know.
No, okay.
It's hard, isn't it?
Well, it's not that it's hard. I think it's just so specific to each person. I think that we have very different ways of approaching that. And I think there's a difference. So, okay, let me bring this back to you then. Say it's not your relationship. You just kind of made the comment about like, oh, you see these other women's husbands out here acting kind of ridiculous. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What is your responsibility in saying something? If we're talking about honesty, is there another aspect to this outside of the interpersonal, intimate space that a husband and a wife or partner and partner have anything to say to each other? Or if you're just none the wiser, if we're looking at it for each other, is there an obligation as a friend to be that?
Oh, if I know that your spouse is cheating?
Yeah. Like, how do you address that or handle that if you're going to be 100% honest, transparent, or just pick and choose when that occurs? You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
See, listen, pick and choose when that occurs.
Well, not pick and choose, but like, okay, essentially what it is.
If I know with 100%, I was in the restaurant.
You have to know.
And I saw this dude
with another
making out with this chick in the back of the restaurant during COVID.
Now you got the Rona.
Now you got the Rona. Now you got the vid. Yeah, I'm telling you.
Okay.
I am. I'm telling you. Because I'm that friend.
But
right? So if it's something like I got suspicions or I think maybe.
Okay. So
and I'm also not telling the chick across the street that I don't know.
Right.
Like if I look out my window and I see my neighbor's husband got company coming over.
Company. Air quotes.
And air quotes coming over on that. I ain't telling her that ain't my look, girl, please. More power to you.
So what's the difference between a friend and her not being aware of the situation and her being blissfully happy? Why is it your responsibility as her friend to bring something into her life or bring it up for her by that same regard?
Because I think...
What if she already has... didn't mean to interrupt, I'm sorry. Yeah. What if she already has this thought process that we've just discussed about, if it's not in my face, I don't want to know?
Well, okay, then if she has made that clear to me, then I would not tell her.
Okay. But what
I mean, so if we have that relationship, if you and I have talked, and that's what you told me your mindset is,
you
listen...
Tell me. Yeah.
Well, no, okay, but that's what I'm saying. See,
yeah.
But if we had talked and I knew that you were like, I don't, whatever. This dude do whatever as long as I don't know what. Then I'm not gonna tell you. Okay. I'm not because I'm gonna respect your bliss.
Can I ask? Have you ever had Have you ever had a real life example of that yet in your life,
where somebody has said, "I don't want to know,"
and then you've had the information and been a carrier of said information?
I've had where I've been a carrier of information, and the friend would be like, "Tell me," and I'm like, "Oh,
I don't wanna.
But I refuse. I refuse to. To me, marriage is so important.
Yeah,
and it's so major that there's no way I'm stepping into anything without 100%
surety.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not stepping in on rumors. I ain't stepping in on somebody said something about somebody. I ain't stepping in on no damn Facebook post that I'm trying to read between the lines, and I done all kind of investigation and you was on so and so's page. I'm not doing all that,
no.
right? If I don't see it with my own two eyeballs, right?
Yeah.
Or like legitimately, like my kids come home and be like, "Yo, I
saw this,
da 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 da," like you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But rumor mill on that, I'm not doing all that.
No.
I'm
Well,
not doing
I
all
agree.
that.
Unfortunately, that's the effing world that we live in right
Yeah.
now. It seems to be so driven by third-party information, and just some nonsense is made up for a lot of it. But yeah, I was just curious because that's a very different approach. If somebody that you know, or that you know that about that person, you know,
then I would not. I would respect.
Yeah.
And I would stay in my lane.
Well, here's the other part. I mean, outside of being good friends with somebody, maybe that just hasn't come up for some conversation. So that's a good point, though, too, to make even still. Like, hey, what's your take on this? Because up until you and I talked about this, it was kind of like I didn't know where you stood, and you didn't know where I stood as far as that was concerned. So.
To know what somebody's boundaries are with it.
Yeah.
I think you should. Everybody should have a conversation with their friends. Listen.
Stop just talking about nonsense.
Let's talk about real things.
Real.
As friends, what are your boundaries on this?
Yeah.
And that really is truly like a self-reflection. But to me, I also think that it is a hard truth realization that people are flawed, and I am willing to accept this person's flaw because I think that their goodness or the thing that they bring to the table is bigger than the flaw. And so listen, that takes a lot of self-awareness. That takes a lot of, you know, and everybody ain't there. And so I think that the natural response that everybody would say is, tell me right now. Tell me. But I think when you really got down to it and think about what you know, is it really important? Is it not? I don't know. I honestly, I don't know. Here's what I will say for myself in this moment. You know, I do 100% believe in truth and honesty. You know, but, and I also am a firm believer that what is done in the dark will come to light, you know? So, you know, take your chances. If you're doing it in the dark, take your chances. It's very possible that this is going to come blazing out. And are you willing to sacrifice and take that, you know what I mean? Risk whatever you're risking. But I also, and so because I am a firm believer in what is done in the dark will come to light, I'm not a woman that goes searching for things. I don't look through people's phones, emails. I'm not following. I'm not tracking down. I'm not asking crazy questions and trying to figure out. I'm not, because I just trust the universe that and by universe I mean God, that what I'm supposed to know, I will know in the time frame that I'm supposed to know it. Somehow you gonna slip up. Something is gonna happen that this thing comes to light. So I'm not digging for dirt. That's just that's just off the top. But I think that you know, there's a lot of things that if we knew them about somebody, it may change how we see them or our relationship, whatever, aside from just being you know, cheating or whatever. But a lot of things that you know, and that people struggle with, or that people are doing that they keep secret. We all keep secrets. Every last one of us. So if your truth doesn't change what is going to happen next, do I really need to know? So if Cliff has been cheating with Janice for all these years, but Cliff had no intentions of leaving me. He had no intentions of not paying these bills. He had no intentions of leaving these kids. He had no intentions of not being at their games. He had no intentions of not coming home every night. He didn't have any intentions of neglecting, abandoning, or leaving me in any way, shape, or form. Do I really need to know that truth? Because it doesn't technically change my reality. But if that truth is going to change, he over here making plans with Janice. Now I do need to know the truth. That I am having an affair, I'm with Janice, and I'm about to leave. Right? Then that changes my reality. That changes what I'm doing. What my life looks like. So in that case, tell me the truth. But if it's not, does it matter? Now, one could argue that having an affair would cause you to change in little ways anyway. You can't be spread thin.
Well,
you know what I mean?
And again, with the whole, the things that you do in the dark will come to light. And I think that it just always has a way of working itself up there. In Clifford's case, however, he decided to pass away and leave.
Yeah, he did.
Mother effing box.
He was a legit liar. Cliff was an OG gangster liar.
OG.
Yeah, he was a gangster with it.
Yeah.
54 years he been hustling and I didn't know.
True. He should have hit that box better then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. Maybe he wanted me to know after all these years.
One job.
One job. You could have let me go.
Take it to the grave.
Dang it, Cliff. What is done in the dark will come to light. Nobody knows when. It might come to light when you die. After you die.
When you're dead.
Yeah, but it came to light. Now your legacy is shaky at best.
A little skewed.
A little bit. A little bit. Everything I thought about you. I don't know. This is a very difficult question.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's super relative, though. I mean, I think if we all sat here for a second and took a hard look at ourselves, I don't even care about anybody else in this situation. If you look at yourself, I'm almost certain within the last week or two, you could probably find a couple places where you weren't 100% transparent.
Yeah, probably. A few.
And for a multitude of reasons.
Right.
And not just like one
and
or the
was
other.
that loving?
Right. Was it self-preservation? Was it loving for you? Was it loving for the person?
Yeah.
There's a lot of, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very interesting
question.
Yeah.
With no answer.
No.
It's difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any motivation for this? Because I don't even know if there's motivation.
No. So I think the motivation, I think there is motivation.
Is there? What is it?
Yeah. I think it requires you to have those conversations with those people that are meaningful in your life. So, for instance.
What? To your spouse?
No.
You listen, sir. You do what you want to do. Just don't let me find out about it. Is that meaningful? Or like me and you? Hey, yo, if you see Cliff in the streets, holla at me.
Me and you.
Oh.
But like your friend, even your spouse, I think it just elicits those conversations that should be happening anyway.
Yeah.
We don't ever get to that deep space with each other. And it's not meant when you're being truthful. If you're being truthful for the right reasons, and again, not to start ish or whatever, but you're truly being genuine and honest with a person, it should never get to this defensive confrontational place. It's a difference between you telling me no bangs and being super hardcore honest and crushing my dreams, but also me knowing that you're doing it from a loving space and that I should never have bangs.
You should
that's
not.
Okay.
That's okay.
To the bigger things such as relationship issues, right? Like, so if that's how you feel or that's what you want from a friendship, that also translates into you with a partner or anybody else, you know? And so I think motivation is it's okay to have those conversations, and those people that are in your life that are meaningful, those conversations aren't going to be, it's not going to be an issue. It's not going to be confrontational. So
I'm going to take my motivation a hard right.
Rude.
A hard right.
Did you expect any less?
I know. Everybody's going to be like, what? She just said all of this stuff and now she comes with this motivation.
Here we go.
Way crazy.
Look.
Not way crazy, but seems like it's out of the vein of where we just were. So remember that episode that we did last season, several episodes back, about what we love about men?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of references to other episodes that,
So, and one of them that I said is that loves God, and because I feel like men who are accountable to, or that have a relationship with God, that there is an accountability. I don't want you to be accountable to me. I want you to be accountable to God.
Right.
And so I think that this is kind of my motivation as far as this is concerned, that a part of this and a part of why society has been allowed to go in the direction that it has gone in is because we have gotten into the space where we are accountable to nothing and no one but ourselves. Mm-hmm. And when we are accountable to nothing and no one but me, then I can figure out ways to justify and rationalize what I'm doing or what I'm not doing. Yeah. Why I'm being honest. I can rationalize the reason I'm not being honest with you. I can say that looks like love, or that is loving.
Right.
It's loving not to tell you something that's going to hurt you. But God doesn't put any caveats on lying. He just says, thou shalt not lie.
Don't do it.
Like, literally, that's it.
Yeah.
He doesn't say, well, it's okay to lie in this
situation. You can't.
Yes, but it's not in that. He just says, don't lie, period.
Don't effing do it.
Right, just don't do it.
Yeah.
So, I think when you look at it that way, then this becomes a personal responsibility as far as saying, I need to conduct my behaviors in a way that I can be transparent about who and what I am.
Yeah.
And so even if I'm struggling with something, then I should be able to be transparent about that. I'm struggling with lust.
Right.
I'm struggling with, monogamy. Yo, this is a battle for me.
Yeah.
Like, be honest about that.
Right.
Before, or if there's an issue in the relationship and your eye is looking over at whoever, that's a space that you guys can be honest about that. Look, this is happening here, and I find myself being attracted to other people. I find myself desiring other people. We need to get this straight because I feel myself moving in a different direction, right? So being that is loving, right? Like that is loving. Being honest about who and what you are up front before it gets to a place where now I have to be honest about something I've done wrong. Right. Before we get to that place. And so, but that requires, again, an accountability to something bigger than yourself because I don't want to, I'm like shoring up the walls. I don't want to step into a place of something that I know that I'm not supposed to be doing. So what do I need to do to safeguard against that? And safeguarding against that is being honest before I get to that.
Before it has
I get to that spot. Right. So, aligning yourself with friends, a spouse, whatever, that has those types of beliefs or, perspectives or mindsets to be able to do those kind of things. I also think that you have to be receptive to that. Oh, yeah. Right? So and that's a hard thing. Yeah, that's a hard thing for somebody to come to you and say, yo, I actually am kind of digging Janice. Right? Yes. If Cliff would have came to me, and if Cliff came to me and said that, and I started throwing dishes against the wall, now Cliff's never going to come to me again with anything else, right?
You need to be able to...
I need to be able to hear him, and we need to be able to legitimately work through that. So you have to be a space that is receptive to those types of truths. So that person can be loving to you by coming to you and telling the truth. Right. Otherwise, it becomes a, Lord, I can't even do it, Jesus. I can't even do it.
Which is a hard space for people to
It is an extremely hard space, but that's what a relationship is supposed to be about. That's what we say we want.
But we don't mean
But we don't really want.
No.
We say that.
We were just kidding.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
That's what we say on the surface, but when we get rid of, when we actually shake down to it, what we really is like, actually what I really want you to do is just be exactly who I want you to be and nothing else.
Fit into this box and nothing
and that's
else.
not true.
No.
That's not true. So, in this case, now I'm going to round it out.
Oh, here we go.
In this case,
this is going to be interesting.
If you're not going to be that person who accepts when Cliff comes to you and says, I think I'm feeling Janice, if you're not going to be that person, then the loving thing for Cliff to do is not to tell you.
Yeah.
Wow. It is not to tell you because you're not prepared. You're not ready. You're not going to do it.
Yeah.
So for everybody's sake, because you're not willing to accept the truth about where Cliff is right now.
Yeah.
You've made that known. So a part of, he who wants friends must first be friendly. Like, you have to be the thing that you say you want. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you can't just say it and not mean it.
Yeah. And you can't be that person. You can't, like...
Well, I think that's evident, too, just in...
It's like being a plug with no, like,
Can you not make that hand gesture? Oh, we did it. We did it in a way. That was a lot. Cool.
That was the plug.
No, I knew what you were doing.
And that's
you're still doing it. Oh. This is a PG-13 show, guys.
That was PG-13. Awesome.
Cool. Also pertinent to the conversation.
Exactly. Do you see how I brought it all together?
No, but
Jesus is real. Thank you, Lord.
I cannot. Oh. It escalated quickly.
That was so good.
Yeah.
Woo. Does any of that make sense? Do you hate me right now?
No, I don't hate you. I think that
it's deep, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, no. It's
hard.
It's hard because I have a lot of feelings about all parts of it, but all parts of it don't necessarily line up with the other parts. Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
I don't either. That's why I'm so confused. No, so right. We're gonna wrap it up. I think well, let's wrap it up. And I do want to revisit that.
Okay.
Because there's a lot more there, I think, to unpack and to look at in a few other lights. But I would eventually like to piggyback on the last thing you spoke about.
Oh, in general, like all of it, or just literally the last
No,
piece?
like the last piece. I think it's the, being the receiver. If you're not willing to receive, is the loving thing for Cliff to please stop it. Okay. Is the loving thing to do to just not say anything and continue the behavior that Cliff would have ultimately done, whether you're the wiser or not. No, there's a lot there.
There is a lot there.
So we got different motivations again, as per usual.
As per usual.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Cool.
mean,
Cool.
ultimately my motivation is, get somebody
who's like-minded.
No. Get somebody who's accountable to something bigger than you.
There we go.
That's the real motivation.
Yeah.
Like that's the reality of it. Like if it to have the best shot the best shot at all of it, to make this work, set yourself up for success. Get somebody who has a moral compass, who is accountable to something that is bigger than than themselves or you, because then the boundaries and the lines are very easily blurred. It's very easy for me to
justify
go,
bad behavior.
because you did, then I can do what this isn't happening, and I feel like whatever. So when that's the place that you're in, then that's what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
So now let's lower the bar.
Yeah.
Since you didn't get somebody who's accountable, and you got this dude or this girl or these friends, you got these people, what is the best you can do in this circumstance? That's kind of where I'm looking at it. This is the prime. Optimal, right. But let's get down to the base.
Yeah.
If I'm at the base level, what is the best that I can expect?
Yeah.
And at the base level, the best that I can expect is, don't tell me.
Yeah, don't tell me.
Do you, and don't tell me. Because if it's not going to change my reality, if it's not going to change what you are doing as far as this is concerned,
this relationship,
then just don't tell me.
Yeah. Interesting.
I know it's hard.
Yeah. I hope that you guys have a lot of comments and stuff on that. Not for the sake of just giving us a hard time. But
Lord, well, I know I'm going to get a hard time. They're going to be like, I know. But here's the thing. I try to say, and I know we both do.
Yeah.
Try to say things that may not necessarily be popular, but are true. What people are really thinking and feeling and going through and trying to digest in a different perspective.
Right.
And there is something to it. Like, life is crazy and complex, and people are battling with a lot of different things, and people make decisions for a lot of different reasons.
Right.
And they don't need the judgment about it.
Right.
Right? You know what I mean? So I'm saying that's a real perspective for some people.
Yeah.
What's the funny thing, and I'll just kind of throw this out there really quick. I remember a couple years back, the Braxton sisters, whatever, their mom took a lot of heat for making the comment to one of the daughters, whose husband was, I guess, cheating or whatever. And she says to the daughter, if you're not ready to do something about it, let that man cheat in peace. So everybody was like, what kind of mom gives the daughter that kind of advice? Yeah. So initially, that's like a punch in the gut. Like, what the heck? That doesn't sound inspirational.
Anyway,
that doesn't sound aspiring. Like, you know what I mean? But she was being real. She was being real. What she was telling her daughter is, don't be in here kicking up dust, crying every day, acting like a fool.
Unless you're willing to do
unless
something.
you are actually going to do something about it. Because otherwise you're wasting everybody's time.
Yeah.
You're wasting your time, his time. You're putting everybody through the drama, the trauma of, oh my God.
Every day something different.
And then you're going to turn around and keep staying there, and he's going to keep doing the same behavior, and you're putting yourself through the same nonsense all over and over and over again. Until you have prepared yourself mentally, emotionally, financially, spiritually, whatever it is, that if this dude does not stop doing what he's doing, don't even bring it up.
Yeah.
Don't even bring it up. Let him go on about his business.
Yeah.
Don't even bring it up, because you're not doing anything.
Right.
And so that's the hard truth. Like, that's not the popular.
Yeah.
That's not the, put it on a postcard and send it to somebody.
We do postcards.
Yeah. That's not a meme.
Yeah.
But that's real. That's the truth of it.
Yeah.
And she was really giving her daughter the encouragement of saying, get you together. You got your eyes focused on this dude and what he is and isn't doing.
Yeah.
He
What's
ain't
your
the
next
problem.
Yeah.
The problem is you. Because you like this.
Yeah.
With your conviction.
Am I going to keep doing what I'm doing and
get in a spot and
misery
stand.
is a better space.
Right.
Yeah.
Stand on what you believe and be ready to execute on it. And until you get into that space, keep your mouth shut, because you just creating more drama than not.
Yeah.
So, as a mother, I think when you dig deep into what she was really trying to say, she was really being a solid mom, like giving some real life, true advice.
You can't keep living in this space.
Right.
No.
Lock it up.
Yeah.
But if you're going to keep living in it, shut up. Because we all tired of hearing it.
Yeah.
If you're going to keep accepting this dude's behavior, be quiet.
Yeah.
Give us all some peace.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
So, I mean, I think So yeah, I know that sometimes the things that I say, are not necessarily user friendly on the surface. But we're not here to be user friendly. We're here to say some things to make you think and go, what are my thoughts on that, or what, you know what I mean? And no one also understand that we too are also working it out and trying to figure out.
Yeah.
And how I feel today may not be how I feel tomorrow.
Right, and certain relationships may feel differently, and certain relationships may evolve differently.
Yeah.
So
There's that.
God, I got a lot to think about when I get home.
Yep. We all do. Now that we're tired, how far did you get into that coffee?
I drank all of it.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna die. It's official.
Your heart is probably beating at like 220
You
beats
can't
per
tell.
minute.
You can't tell, but I'm actively running a marathon just sitting here. You're welcome. Get that last little bit.
On that note, thank you for hanging out with us. We hope that this inspires some conversation between you and your friends and your spouse and your mother and your father and people and whatever else, and that you kind of come to some thoughts on it for yourself, and maybe that you will share those thoughts with us. Maybe you can help us along, because we also don't know what we're doing.
Clearly.
But we do want to know some different perspectives.
Yes.
So
share.
Come back. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy holiday season.
I was wondering if you were going to miss it. So I
know. Happy Thanksgiving.
Festive AF.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
No, that's the wrong.
It still counts.
Lord Jesus.
Still
Okay.
counts.
All right. Please follow us on all of our social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Subscribe. Leave your comments below. All of the podcasting
platforms.
YouTube Music is now the new one that's taking over Google Play. So I have to mention that. iTunes, Podbean, Spotify. We're on all of them. Listen to us in your car, at home, on TV, whatever, wherever. Do it. We love you. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.